Sorry, I had some camera issues there as I move into part 2. But this device would screw on the end of the barrel and would be used in conjunction with training rounds that were made out of wood. If you can imagine such a thing. I actually saw these things for sale on a website, Samco Global, I think it was. Actually had these wooden rounds for sale. I got to see what that's all about. You know, just starting now to just do my research and learn this stuff. I saw there's different things you can thread on the end here. There's companies that sell flash hiders. Don't know if they're original. They don't look it. And there's you know, there's certain different types of dust covers and covers like just that cover it completely, like debris covers that you'd keep on there for you know, during transport or travel during dusty conditions or something. That did look original. And the things that break up the wooden rounds, those things did look original. Why would you need to even have a wooden round that you had a device on the end of the barrel that would break the wooden round up? Like, why would you even need that? Why not just use a blank that, like, maybe nothing comes out, or just a little paper wadding, you know, comes out? Maybe you would just want to have something resemble the actual bullet with a tip on it to put in, but then you didn't want that wooden tip to come out and hurt somebody, so you... I don't know. I can't even really find... I've never heard of such a thing. It's just a little bit crazy. I'd love to have been... you know, part of that Swiss training to see exactly what they were doing with these things, you know. But, you know, it is interesting that you can pick this stuff up and actually, you know, it just adds to the history of it or something unique. I always like when you show one of these to somebody that there's just different things and you go, hey, check this out. They used to do this, they did that, you know. It just makes for an interesting show and tell kind of thing, you know. And, that's it here. You know, I got a second here. I forgot. I didn't realize usually I do this. I guess I should. This is the round, the Swiss round, the 6.5 by 55. Actually, this is more of a. This is a PMC. That's like much more modern. This I think is a little bit older, like the type of round that they would actually, you know, be using around World War II times. But you can see the difference. It's hard just to even tell with it just sitting there on its own. But here's the 8mm Mauser in comparison. So you can see if I put, you know, at the bottom, you know, case to case, the 8mm Mauser case, you know, sizes up similarly. Believe it or not, the Swedish is actually a little bit fatter at the base. It's actually a little bit fatter at the base. You can see just a hair wider. But then in comparison, the juxtaposition there is that the neck is much tighter and the bullet is much thinner and longer. You can see even if I line up bullet sizes here, it's just a hair longer, but considering that the case is that much shorter, it just really makes the bullet, you know, very long and thin. And I think this is why I've read that the twist on these is very aggressive to impart a much greater than usual spin to the bullet because of its length. The length of the actual bullet itself, the extra spin would be needed to add stability because of its length compared to its width. You know, to stop it from wobbling in flight, it would have some extra spin imparted to it. You know. So it is an interesting round. These, I'm really not sure. These are kind of old. If anyone knows, if I could catch that head stamp, hopefully I could catch that head stamp good enough. Where's the light? Yeah, if anybody knows what that head stamp right there, that symbol on the top and those lines that run around the circumference, and if you could see, it's red around the primer. It's sealed with red. Red to me was always a little scary because you're not really sure if those are proof rounds. And, you know, this is one of the rifles that was proofed when it was made from the factory. There would be a round that would have much higher than normal cylinder pressures. They would fire one round through it. And then if it survived, you know, it went on into its, you know, life out there. And if it didn't survive, I guess it became, you know, melted down liquid for the next batch, you know. But you always worry that you're going to end up with some of these proof rounds. I mean, I guess just like this military surplus, they would also be, you know, surplus proof rounds, you know, running around. And you certainly wouldn't want to, you know, get stuck with a batch of those and go to the range and think that, you know, you got some cool military surplus ammo, and meanwhile you're firing rounds that are really only made to be put through the rifle once, you know what I mean? So the red around the pry bar kind of scares me. You know, I got some S&B soft tips, and actually when I bought the rifle, the guy just you know, threw in some ammo. So that's where I got all of that, but I have like I said before, I have some PPU on order, which well, I would trust that a little bit more, you know what I mean? I don't like buying ammo in bags at gun stores, and it's just a mixed mash. You know, you're not really sure what you're getting there. Is it corrosive? Is it not corrosive? You know what? I'll just deal with, just get some, put that stuff on the side, and just keep it there as you know, just bins of ammo, and get some PPU to actually fire through the thing. So you know, that's that. I'm really impressed with its quality. And like I said, it just bothered me that you know, the 1903 Springfield, for some reason, it just wasn't coming together for me. You know, it's called the 1903 Springfield. It's not called the 1903 Smith Corona, or you know, it is. Every time I get handed one, the sights would be different. There's ones with the sights like this, then there's ones with the sights here, and I didn't understand the difference, and nobody could really seem to explain it to me. And you know, the M1 Garand, like I said, it's called an M1 Garand. It's not called an M1 Springfield. If you happen to end up with a Winchester or an H&R, you know, it's an M1 Garand. No matter which one you get, you got an M1 Garand. How you could ask for an 03 Springfield and be handed something that's other than a Springfield? It was always very confusing. And I'd see a line, you know, of 3 or 4 of them on a rack at a gun store, and they'd all have different names, you know what I mean? I finally have, oh, here, this one says Springfield. It's over 1 million, and it looks like Freddy Krueger owned it for 6 years. I mean, you know, I couldn't understand why I couldn't just seem to end up with a nice one. And then these things, I mean, the wood on these is just always so beautiful. I've seen a few of them, and, you know, I settled on this one. But these just seem to be so much more, you know, they just seem to be just, you know, it's Carl Gustafs, and it says Carl Gustafs, and when you ask for it, that's what you're handed, and like I said, it just seems like, you know, it seems like this is kind of like what America was going for back then. So, for me, this has become my Swedish 03 Springfield. Let's put it that way. And well, maybe you know, I'll be doing a video soon on my Swedish, on my Norwegian Krag. You know, see if how difficult it is to run into one of those. And until then, ladies and gentlemen, you be safe with these guys, and have fun out there on the range. And I'll see you soon.